No again. Oh my goodness, they're doing so much damage to me. How do they hit me through my shield? Run! Go, go, go. Okay, I'm gonna get a golden apple. I'm actually like half health. How are they hitting me through the shield? Oh, they've got piercing. Some of them got piercing in their shields. That's why they were doing so much damage. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Hardcore Minecraft One Biome. This time in a Mesa. There's another guy over there. Hello, sir. Do you have a piercing crossbow? No, you don't. Good. Oh, that was very nearly the end of the series. Yes, hello everyone, and welcome back to Hardcore Mesa One Biome. Today we are going to continue working on our base. The last episode we built this drill, which, you know, it's still not the best, but I'm pretty happy with it. We can see it's starting to oxidize in some areas, which we'll see what layers I want to keep of oxidation. I need a bee farm, a honey farm if I don't want it to be fully oxidized, and I don't know if that's possible to get in this biome or not. I don't know if trees you grow could spawn with bee nests. I'm not sure. I'll have to research that. But in between episodes, we did go and do a bit of mining, and in that process, we got 19 diamonds. So I'm going to use this to just gear up slightly, so I can take a bit more damage. I'll also grab a... Actually, I don't need a pickaxe. I have also realised I have sugarcane, I have leather, and from the ruined portals I found, I have obsidian right here. So we can actually, with these diamonds, make a enchanting table as well. Yes, now we have an enchanting table. Do I have any lapis? I may not have... No, I don't have any actual lapis with which to enchant in that entire caving trip. So I'm going to want to go and find at some point. But having some diamond armor gives me a bit of extra protection. Would have been useful against those raiders right then, but oh well. I'm fine. I'll just leave this here for now. Now today we're hoping to build a new building to start out a little town here. It's not actually going to be the one I thought about here. I want to have like a sawmill type thing or a mining thing here. I just want a kind of general house to kind of put my chests and my storage in, and I'll probably go like, maybe could go here with a pen here. That might work. Nice open space to put it there. Before that, we're going to need some resources, and this is definitely not enough. I've already collected some resources before this episode, such as copper. I've got smelting in here. In fact, let's just try and top some of these up. But even then, I'm not sure if there's going to be enough copper. There are some specific resources I'm still missing, one of which is dark oak. I want some dark oak slabs for some of my builds, and obviously those don't grow on trees. I mean, it's wood, but it doesn't grow on trees in this game, in this world. I have to get them from mine shafts. So I think we might actually, with these two diamonds, craft up a sword, diamond sword, and we can go and try to just harvest a bit of dark oak from the mine shafts without dying, because that would not be good. But let's sleep first. Now I know I saw a mine shaft off in this direction. So episode 2, let's venture into the mine shafts. Now we probably won't need to go that deep, because it is this stuff here we're after. But I just want to light up a little ways. Okay, and let's just start chopping down this wood. I'm just jumping at the sound of spiders, but I don't want to get poisoned because I will probably just die. I don't like these noises. I'm just going to cover this up as well so nothing drops in on me. Just spawn of that. I don't like this. I really don't like this. That's... If you haven't noticed, I really don't want to die to these stupid spiders. I'm thinking dark oak's not going to be a common palette in my builds. And yes, I'm just breaking the spawner. I'm just going to break the spawner. No, it's there. No, I'm not doing okay for spiders. No, thank you. Okay, okay, it's 2k for spiders. You know, I'll work with that. At this point, I'll work with this, and if I need more wood, I'll come and get it, but I think this should be mostly what I need. One of the other things that I'm going to need a lot of is actually wheat, because I want to use hay bales as a roof, which is kind of insane, I'll admit, but I think it will look really good. And I just need to create a temporary farm. And oh boy, I was right that this was a bad idea. What you're watching here is over 2.5 hours of footage compressed into a 1-minute time lapse. Now, I did try to multitask while I was growing this wheat. I tried to age the copper, which shows you just how long I was waiting, as well as try and get some more fish for food so I don't starve to death. And I was trying to speed up the process however I could, using bone meal, making bone meal from leaf litter in the surrounding area. Now, my idea for this build would be that it would be the quartermaster's house for the town. So there'll be plenty of chests there for me to store all my items that could be sorted by the copper golems, hopefully in the future. In reality, my choice of wheat here for the roof was incredibly expensive and took me so long to get, but lore-wise, it was a cheap building material they could use to get this building together quickly, because it was one of the first buildings that was set out in this town out of necessity, because this mining town needed to get set up quickly, and that kind of parallels with how it's one of the first buildings I'm setting up, because I need some storage space, because right now I'm living out of like 3 chests, and that's just not attainable in the long run. Now that we finally have all these resources, specifically the hay bales, that took so long to grow, we can get started and build the quartermaster's house right about here. Okay, so here we have the basics of our house, of our little quartermaster's house, with the wing here with a hay bale roof that took forever to collect. Obviously, in lore, this is like cheap material they scavenged from everywhere, but in reality, it was a pain to get. But this is a rough shape. As we can see, there is no interior, and it is all one solid texture currently, so that's what we're probably going to want to fix next, is just make this look a bit nicer in general, and possibly add a floor inside as well, just to separate this empty space out a bit more. There you go, now we've got like a checkerboard stripped wood floor in, so that'll make it a bit easier to texture all this stuff. Okay, so I think that looks better now. We've textured the walls a bit with just polished granite, not like polished granite, and some stripped logs up there. I just decided to keep this bottom layer completely uniform. I tried some variations like walls and stairs, but didn't quite like how that looked. So I'm trying to keep it a bit more pristine here, because that felt more like falling apart rather than texture variation like these are. So now that the basic structure is there's a few more things I want to add on, one of which uses up the copper I've been aging, so why don't we grab that. Okay, now we've got the shape of this detail. We're going to replace the wood with these oxidized copper grates. So now we have the copper grate in place, we can start to decorate and detail it, starting with a like deep slate encasing around this one, like so, and we can obviously add to that more to that later. And then up here we want to build a brace. I'll add copper trapdoors here when I can, but right now I can't afford them. And obviously we still got some bits I need to oxidize here. But then this is like a water pump, so I need to waterlog all of these. So now I'm going to make it a bit more visually interesting from this side with a water pump pulling water out of the ground and into the building on the what will be the top floor over here. Now I think the next thing I want to add is a couple of windows, because the exterior is feeling a bit plain right now. I think I'll start by knocking a hole right here and adding some copper bars. We also need a top floor of the house, so maybe we should do that next. We have a second story, like so. isn't too bad. I think we now need to knock some windows into this thing. Starting to come together. That's for sure. We might have a way up onto here, like a little door. Now we have this door to get out onto the thatched roof. We can add a little bit of interest here, like this. Makes it look a bit nicer. We can get up on here. I don't know why you just specifically want to get up on here, but you now can. Now let's get the windows in. I want to use shelves. I've seen vegan methods using shelves to make windows, so I want to try that out. One thing I do actually want to use them for as well is for the cupboard here. There's a bit there, and there's a nice little entrance in there. Now here we go like that, like that, like that, like that. And here we should go do a similar thing. Like so. I think it's time to get there. Obviously we're still waiting for some of the copper to oxidize, which might take a while. Hence why I pre-oxidize some of this stuff to get a good look at what it will be like. I think it's looking pretty good. I like this, adding a bit of extra shape. I like the fact that it's not just a square box, it's got this bit jutting out. Maybe I could have done with another bit jutting out somewhere as well. But overall, I think it's good. My one issue with the exterior now is there feels like there should be something here. It feels a bit... From here, you don't have the cool shape. I don't know, call that. And even it feels like that works. I feel like there should be something here on silhouette. So I think we should probably go and add a chimney. I think that's good. It adds a little something extra to the silhouette. Now I've got that, I think we want to expand out our water system a bit to make logical sense on the inside. So let's take the copper stuff. And I basically just want to build like a copper water boiler in this corner, I think. I was going to have it come over here. I don't think that's going to look very good. So let's just... And then we've got our water boiler. Let's just chuck the extra water in there. Okay, there you go. Now that's nice and filled. I think this house looks pretty good from the outside. And it's just a matter of making the interior now for this house. And eventually adding a paths, connecting everything up, but I probably won't tackle that today. So the first thing that I want to do is to add in a whole bunch of chests in this interior space here, like this. So now we have a good amount of storage space, and hopefully in the future I can go and find some pumpkin seeds. I believe pumpkin seeds can be found in minecart chests inside the mine shafts, so hopefully we can find that. And then here will be a double copper chest with copper golems sorting this place for me, which would be good if that is a possibility, but for now these are all just empty and I'll migrate my stuff in there later. Now I also want to like remove all these random torches all over the place and replace them with much nicer looking copper lanterns, which obviously will eventually oxidize, but I think these will look a lot nicer. But with my bed up there, I then want to take my different workstations and add a workshop area to the quartermaster's house. So about here I can have a furnace wall, like this, with a crafting table next to it. You get some like different bits of like dust and stuff. It's like sawdust left on the floor, and I can grab some of these leftover dark oak pieces for a work surface. Will also contain our stone cutter here, like it's being used to cut something. I feel like this now feels a bit more like a complete space. And I gotta work out what I'm going to do with this room. Like this definitely could do with some racing. I feel like I want a bedside table or something with a lantern on it. That probably would be nice. We'll chuck a lantern up on there. I feel like I want some carpet, so I might go find some string for that. Then the question remains, what do I do with all this space? This is obviously where food is cooked, so I could set up like a bit more of a work surface over here. I can't make plant pots for like my sap things to go in and stuff because I don't have any terracotta. But what I can do is just sprinkle about these. I also had a few barrels that are like used as like excess storage, maybe like at the bedside you have a few barrels like so. That feels right. If I now get some shears, I can just... They don't look great because they're dying, unfortunately. So they look kind of in pain, but I guess that kind of fits the world of it we're trying to build here. Could add some more greenery along bushes along the base of this as well to detail. We can put a axe down there, and then give this armor stand some clothes. Just kind of bring a bit of life to place, and I just want a carpet probably. I feel like is the one thing I feel like this place is missing. Got a nice little carpet there. That just makes it feel a bit more cozy. We're also going to replace this with a photography table. It just makes it a little bit nicer, I think. And there we go. That is the upstairs basically done as well. I believe, though, that is our base done. Well, this house of our base is now done. The quartermaster's house with the storage inside is complete. And I'm quite happy with how this is looking. I feel like once we get more buildings and houses popping up around the place and roads connecting to them, it will look really cool. That is going to be it for this episode. Next episode, we will build another building, I'm sure. Start to expand the town a bit more. And maybe head into the mine shaft as well to get some pumpkin seeds so we can make some copper golems to help organise my chests and make this place feel a bit more alive. So that'll be it for this episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone.